Peace community, peace community. If you are new, welcome to the community. If you're a part of the community, welcome back. You already know it's a lot been going on within the community. It is a lot that's been going on. Shout out to my girl Ccctv going up right now. You already know we were a part of a great conversation. We're a part of great conversations that's going on even now, man. This is what's going on with Chuck Morgan, Kinoo, and a few others, Ezekiel, and more. This conversation was really great. Shout out to Chuck Morgan. Shout out to Kinoo. Shout out to Ccctv. Remember to go subscribe to those channels, and you can go and check out Nuwaupian.com to get updated with some of the information that you're about to hear right now. And this is live. When you get a chance to get Chuck Morgan, you got to take advantage. You already know. Drop your likes for this type of thought, this type of consciousness. Okay? People are trying to take our minds out of consciousness. Drop a like for this type of consciousness. Remember to subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you. Hopefully you're in a good mood. This type of content is always, you know what I mean? Touchy, man. It's very touchy because so many people have been hurt. And if you have been hurt in any way, form, or fashion, we are not trying to further traumatize you. We are just trying to uncover situations and bring awareness so that many others do not fall victims to the same type of predatory behaviors. Let's get into this video, y'all.
I was staying with told me I wasn't welcomed in her home because she found out about the pistol. Chuck Morgan, peace.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Wow. I had just caught the last end of that show. I was asleep. It's it's 6:27 p.m. over here, so I have to work tonight. But man, that's crazy. What's going on is all of a sudden a nut house. Yeah. And what I'm irritated by is when all of that's going on, everybody is ignoring, forgetting, hiding, ducking, running from what Malachi York did to all of those then kids, teens, preteens, mid-teens. I mean, it's messed up. I mean, it's a bad case of in these Negro platforms and YouTube, whatever they call these things, man. These guys and girls, they embrace the pedophiles. They are embracing that behavior, protecting it, all for the sake of hoping that he'll be that black Jesus Messiah that they've had these insecurities hoping would show up throughout history. And because York played that role intentionally, now we see that these guys will ignore all the kids that suffered because of this guy, all because they want to live this fantasy of who they think he was. I'm just disgusted. I'm reaching out to a lot of people, and I'm trying to pull people out so they can get up here and start talking about this stuff, because even though a lot of people testified at the trial, and their thing is, why do I have to talk anymore? I did my part. I went and I faced him eye to eye and told what he did. I understand that. And, you can't take that away. What is unfortunate in all of this stuff is because of this being such a sensitive issue, because at the time they were children, the documentation of what took place, such as the trial transcripts, where anyone in the normal situation can go and read and place themselves in the jury box, hearing all sides, weighing the evidence, they could do that in a normal case. Unfortunately, because the judge sealed the documents as a protection for the thin children, it wasn't until 2008 that the prosecutors motioned to have the sealed transcripts unsealed. So the judge wrote off and unsealed the sealed transcripts, but redacted them so that certain names of individuals were eliminated. So at this point, there's no excuse for anyone not to be able to place themselves in the jury box and read all of the salacious activity York was responsible for in regards to what he did as a career serial child sexual predator, but also what he did in conjunction with the finances by exploiting the people who look to him as their savior. So I'm not. I mean, you know what I do. So this only adds more fire for me because I don't believe in taking hit. I don't believe in biting my tongue to protect people's feelings. So
Yeah.
my website, I have the sealed transcripts and I put them there and I put the names out there because I wanted to get beyond this thing where these people are just names as opposed to real people. Now, of course, there were a couple of the victims that contacted me and told me to take their name down. And for the most part, I did. But others wanted me to keep it up there because they wanted people to realize that they're not just initials on a document, but actual people who suffered trauma for decades as a result of this guy. And now
Yes.
we see that there's a whole cult of sexual predator protectors that are out there trying to protect his name. Because as you know, York's whole thing was he was more concerned with his public image rather than his whole existence, whether or not he go to prison or not. But anyway, like I said, I have to go to work tonight. You know, I'm up all night typing and writing,
Yes.
and you know, I work at Waldorf Astoria, so I got nothing but time to do what I do overnight. But I just want because I'm appreciating how you are taking on this thing and putting these pedophile protectors that are running these platforms, making money and trying to get views,
Yes.
and exploiting these kids. I mean, they're not kids now, but damn.
Period.
They were kids when it
Period.
Some of
happened.
them can't
Period.
even
Yeah.
They
have
You're
still
right,
have
Chuck.
babies
the
because of
trauma.
York.
You're
They
right,
I
can't
Chuck.
even
guess I'm
have
more
kids.
sensitive to it because before I ever ran into some actual cult member, I was reading about it. You know, Jim Jones, and you know when you read about serial killers, it ain't but so many out of them there. So you know you got to do something else. I guess I missed my call, and I was supposed to go to school for psychology instead of IT. But
hmm Now you needed the IT too. You needed that too because in this world right here, motherfuckers want to play. You need the
true,
IT too.
true.
So you needed all of that. You need all that. But you already
But
got
I
your
want
calling.
them to have a place where they can come with no condemnation, you know, and
Yes.
speak their mind. I like to have
Yes.
you or Todd Noonan up here so they don't just feel free to just, you know, just spin stuff all out of control. But at the same time, I want to hear their story because they need to tell their story. Until they tell their story and get it off their chest, they still go carry that around with them.
But let me say this because, like I said, man, my head is just clouded with all kinds of stuff I know. Now, remember, these people who did take it upon themselves to testify, you got to remember that the cult put a tax on them. I mean, you're one person trying to explain what took place to you. The organization has demonized anyone who speaks to the white man because, as you know now, they spin the narrative that it was
The
a
white man
government
is the
conspiracy. York was innocent. He was set up. He was tortured into all of this stuff thoroughly debunked. Doc, see, before, and I'm not, and I am not the type of person to you know toot my horn. That's I've never been like that. But up until the time when I was able to put these documents out and start going after these people on these social media shows, York
devil.
controlled the narrative. Meaning, York was able to have these mock phone calls into Jones County Jail where the sisters would be on the phone interviewing him, which is all scripted so he can protect public image to his followers. So after he was um, sent off to Leavenworth, that stopped. And so the victims were going out and explaining what took place and what happened to them. This is after the trial. And they were able to get their voice out. And it wasn't until years later when I was, when I started investing my time in studying the case and the trial, up until that point, nobody had put the trial transcripts out. And York knew that, and they preyed on that fact, because I want you to realize something. Even though the judge sealed the documents, listen, and they say that the trial was closed off and the public wasn't able to see it. No, the judge, and I posted on my website, the judge made it clear that the public will be able to see the trial in real time, because they set up a room right down the hall from the courtroom where it was a spectator room where up to 150 people at any time can sit there and watch it on closed circuit television. Unfortunately, the majority of the people who filled the room were Nuwaupians. But Adrian Patrick, York's attorney, he had people write down everything that took place at the trial. They took shorthand, they were writing, they took what are called trial notes. And those notes they were supposed to take back and go over and match them to what was said and what the victims were saying, and try to use that as a tool to show inconsistencies, etc. Now, with all of those trial notes, up to 50 people being able to show what was, not anybody ever posted those trial transcripts, because what was being said was not in the best interest of the cult, and so they knew not to post that stuff, and no one has ever posted it. But when the website nuwaupianism.com, in the category of the leader, you'll be able to see all of the things that York did and the testimonies that were corroborated by the evidence that was collected and gathered.
I want to ask you something I've never asked you before.
Go ahead. Hit me.
Can you send me all those transcripts?
Yeah, I can send them to you. What the hell? Why not? I thought I did. I send them to different people from time to time. Yes.
I got some plan. Send them to me.
Yeah, I'll hook you up.
Oh, yes.
And another thing, all of this stuff, because see, like I said, people keep on to this. He's innocent. He's innocent. Let me ask you something. This, because there was a dude that I was I don't like saying debate, because unless you have a moderator in a proper forum, there ain't no debate. But one dude that wanted to debate me, and we would go back and forth in the Facebook group USA versus York, said that, Chuck, if you can show me one case where Doc molested a child, just one, then I'll believe you. Then I said, okay, I'll tell you what, here, I'm going to give you one. Habiba Washington, who testified against York. She was 16 when she got pregnant, and she gave birth at age 17. People seem to forget what that story was all about. Now, her son with York, committed suicide as a result of all of that madness going on. He couldn't handle it. So I showed him that. He knew that. Everybody knows about York getting Habiba pregnant. They tried to make up every excuse. Even Habiba's father, York, what's that dude name? A little short dude. I can't remember his name right now. He, in defending York, he's in the hearing would say that he gave the okay for his daughter to marry York. But what happened was in the state of Georgia, in the state of New York, because she got pregnant. This is when they cut hairs. They said, well, it happened in Georgia, and at the time in Georgia, the age of consent is age 16. And the same said, well, in New York, the age of consent is 16. But see, the rule is, yeah, it's the age of consent is 16, but the individual cannot be more than 3 years old, her senior. And York was 38 years old when he first started having sexual activities with Habiba when she was 13, anal, oral, and it didn't escalate to vaginal until she was 15. And so when I showed him that, and he verified that, he continued on and said, "Well, that's the Sudanese culture, and Doc that fucker was not no damn
Can you
Sudanese."
expound on that? Because they got a couple of questions about the age.
Go ahead, give it up. What's up?
The females were grooming them up until a certain time, and they were performing certain acts on York up until a certain age, around 13.
No. Listen, the grooming process is this. York made absolutely certain that anyone who was a part of the inner circle, which was his little sex colony, they had to be incriminated first by performing various acts on the minors. Once that's been done, he would then step in and then take over, or in some cases, participate in these little threesomes, twosomes, foursomes, and orgies. And that also involved boys. Okay, like his common law wife, Kathy Johnson, her son, Asa Johnson at the time, who is now Angelisa, because he went under a sex change thing. Her son was molested by York. This is well known. Okay, so in answering the question, York had people groom and recruit other children. And Habiba, who was a recruiter for York, was recruited herself by a sister in the Ansar community, not the name of Khadija. Okay, this is vividly outlined in the transcripts that I posted on the website. If you go to it and look up Habiba watching, I put 3 articles up on Habiba. The first one was to counter the lie that she told about nothing happening, which was a video that was released on behalf of the organization because they pressured her to do a video to try to change how the sentencing was, because her thing was being raised by him. 135 years may have been too much for him because he was a sexually abused himself. And so they convinced her to do a video that was designed to ease the members, but the guys in the organization had ulterior motives, which was to use that against them to say that, oh, they are recanting. So they're saying that it didn't happen, and they wanted to use that video as evidence against her to say that she recanted. And so what had happened was Damon Pryor, who's the guy who falsifies numerous documents of individuals by putting up the fake affidavits, which were never submitted to court, but they released the video and put on YouTube and used that to clean York's public image. Now, what had happened was York's attorney got a hold of the video and motioned for a new trial to try to get York free, and a new trial. And so that in August, this is after York was convicted. So in August of the same year, when York got sentenced in May or June, he got sentenced to 135 years on the federal sex statutes. They brought Habiba into court to answer the questions of what was stated in the video and affidavits. Now, All of this is in conjunction with the question. So when she was questioned by Jonathan Marks, York's attorney, since York was arrested going back in the 80s, she maintained her testimony and said that she did that video because she felt sorry and because the organization members pressured her into doing so. And they said, well, you may be guilty of perjury and you may be sentenced as a result of that. So are you saying that what you said, that it was all a lie in that video? Yes, it was a lie. And so York's attorney said to the judge, they had no further questions, and they wanted to wash their hands of it. Of course, York was upset about it because he didn't get a new trial, and because the judge stipulated that the victims that participated in the sex acts with York when they were minors themselves, up until they became adults, cannot be held guilty as pedophiles, as Adrian Patrick labeled Nikki Lopez as being, because these people were groomed to be child molesters, and when they were acting out that molestation activity with other children as they were groomed under York, they wanted to paint all of them as being child molesters by protecting the person who orchestrated it. I'm sorry, I'm ranting on, but that should answer your question. That York groomed these people to do this stuff, huh?
I said, keep going. You know we love it when you go on a road. Chuck is lit tonight. Chuck.
Yeah, man, because I'm talking to these people, and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with these people that they are letting this man and his name like he's some innocent character? I mean, damn, the dude. Listen, I'm not gonna, because she married a police officer, and she told me she doesn't want her full name put on blast like that. But this other sister named Sakina got pregnant by York at 14. This was brought out at the trial. They say that there's no DNA evidence. There was DNA evidence presented at the trial. How do you think they were able to determine paternity for the Yorks' kids? They took an inventory of all the children of all the children that York had, and the names of the mothers, and who the males and the females. This was all collected by the FBI when they raided the spot. That's how they were able to know this. And they know that York had some of the victims were minors at the time. I got pictures of the minors holding York's kids.
Okay, Chuck, we have 101 people over here, which we usually don't. What was the youngest age of a victim of York?
You mean that you got to be specific on that, because victimhood has to be determined whether he sexually penetrated someone, or if
any kind of sexual contact.
This involved oral, anal, or just
any kind of sexual contact.
From what I remember from the trial test, from the transcripts, the youngest was 4. Now this didn't involve penetration, but it involved
some
oral.
Type of
It involved oral.
And how many confirmed victims? Not just the ones that testified at trial. How many confirmed victims?
See, I don't want to give a vague answer, because I want to be specific, and I'm not sitting in front of the documents, so I can't say exactly how many confirmed victims, because there were victims that you have to be specific on that also, because you have the listed victims, and then you had individuals who were victims who testified on behalf of York on the side of the defense, who subsequent to York being incarcerated have come out publicly acknowledging that they lied at the trial in defense of York by saying that they were not molested. I have that documented on the website. Issa Johnson at the time did a poem, and you can find the poem on my website, where he went on Facebook and he wrote a poem, unapologetic for abusing me, something like that. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but you can go to it. You can go to Google. Nuwaupianism.
Oh, we got your link to your YouTube
Okay,
page,
good,
your link
good,
to your
good, good,
website
good,
rotate in the chat.
good. Okay, now if you go to the one with Issa Johnson on it and the poem, you have the chat. The log chat was saved by someone who was involved with the case, and you can look at the names of the individuals and what they were saying, and how they were lamenting about the poem, and these are now listen. These are the people who, at the time, at the trial, were on the side of the defense, but they were in the poem talking about the trial and how they said that we were told to lie. Adrian Patrick, York's attorney, told us to lie, and when we were going through the screening process of being of the pretrial, the prosecutor were able to catch us in lies because they had stuff on us where they were known to have participated in the sex acts. When one girl was pregnant by York, her sister was pregnant by York, and her sister was pregnant by York, and all of them were minors. So yeah, you can look at that and you can see the names of individuals. Sakina, you can see there were 3 Sakinas, by the way. So that's why sometimes when you hear Sakina, you get to be confusing because you got Sakina Parham, you got Sakina Woods, you got Sakina who was running Brooklyn. Because that was a normal Arabic name in the community.
Yeah.
I'm nobody. I was just a guy who was in the organization who wanted. I was more analytical because I dealt with studying. That was my name, Idris, because I was one who studied. I had to change my name because when I moved into another community, when I was sent to Florida, the guy who was running it, whose name was Kedar. My name was Kedar initially, but when the guy who was running DC name was Idris, I had to change my name. But my thing, that was all I was. My claim to fame was that I would stay up late at night because I'm an insomniac, and I would debate or argue people on talk radio about the Bible, and using York's theology to challenge people. Now, as a result, I would mail my cassette tapes down or upstate to Georgia or upstate New York. Well, at this time it was Georgia, and York took a liking to it because no one had done it until that point. And then as time progressed, because I had met him way back when we were Ansars in upstate New York, and so when we were going down for a Savior's Day, he sent me a letter saying to meet with him on the property, and that was when things really took off. And so when I was eventually able to do talk radio and have my own show, I would stay up for 6 hours arguing with people, and York would take those audios and sell them to other members and label them students of Nuwaupo debates Christians. Chuck Morgan, Dr. Larry Morgan debates Ben Amin, debates the Hebrew Israelites, Israeli Church, on and on and on. So I became like this fighter for York and the doctrine because nobody else had done it. That was my whole claim to fame. I didn't know nothing about all this stuff that happened after he got arrested because I would go on a show saying that York was a political prisoner. I was going on shows up until 2011, still following this fool because I chose not to deal with that whole legal and court stuff because I didn't know what was going on because we were told that when he got arrested, because when he got arrested, I was in Baltimore, me and my girl, and we woke up and we turned on CNN and my phone started going off and people saying they arrested Doc. That was when I found out about it. So I didn't, when he was trying to get into I didn't even want to know if it was true or not. And by the time I moved to Hawaii, I just figured that when you come here, you're going to be dealing with the Bible Belt and Christians and, Mormons. So I held on to that. That's why I was still holding on to the York theology because I was still using his teachings to fight people in religion. It wasn't until I was able to start looking at the books and start questioning it from a position of doubt. And that's when I became persona non grata of the cult. But anyway, go ahead. Give me some questions because, like I said, it's still
It's
early.
time to ask Chuck questions. I know y'all want
It
to ask
is
questions
about
tonight.
7 o'clock, and it's about 7 o'clock, and I go to work at 10:45. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, see, we got a time limit this time. People, questions in the chat. Ain't time for facilitating. Y'all know what it do. Y'all know
Man,
what
this
to
is an
do.
impromptu thing, so I mean, I'm gonna come on your show, man, because I'm talking to people, man, and a lot of people are pissed off because with the sister going on his show,
Mm-hmm.
she in a indirect way, on one hand, is acknowledging that there was a lot of creepy stuff going on within the cult,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
but trying to tiptoe around who was the ringleader.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who's the guy in the because it sounds like
King Simon. King Simon
oh,
was there, and she was getting at King Simon, and King Simon said, I didn't know about that. I was bringing up this. He was bringing up the DJ and the reggae thing. That was King
yeah,
Simon. So
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Do you think? Because then she also went into. She said no. Answer everything. She said no. All of these things was going on because I had sisters that was pregnant at that time. They was underage and all that. So I think that most people would have known. How do you feel about like that? What she was saying towards King Simon, that
Well, that
if he was on the grounds at that
yeah,
time, you would
yeah.
have known.
Yeah. They knew that. That was a well-known fact. Yeah, yes. As far as those girls, those underage girls being pregnant, they knew about it. But the problem is, people are not focusing on them pregnant girls were pregnant by York.
Yes.
Listen, there wasn't Ansar members, men getting young girls pregnant in the community. That did not happen. The underage girls that were pregnant were the girls being pregnant by York.
Oh, Chuck, was it true that when the girls went to go give birth, they had somebody with them to make sure they answered the questions properly and they had a certain set of answers they were supposed to do?
I can't talk on that because I wasn't privy to that
Okay.
information. What I do know is that some of those children were delivered on the property because York had doctors on the property.
Okay.
Dr. Thompson was one of York's main doctors, and I remember plenty of times being on the land at night when we were building the Black Pyramid, where a young pregnant girl might come out. I didn't know all that because he said that this is his daughter's. That's when we was going under the thing. It would be Mark Monhill, me, and a few other guys. And while we would go to the barn, because a couple of times you had to spend the night up there if they weren't able to drive you back into Edgewood Avenue in Edgewood, something like that. You would stay in the barn. I stayed up in the barn one night, and I remember when York came by, and I figured that they were going to go and deliver a baby. It was some light skinned girl with real curly hair, and she was pregnant. And I figured that was his daughter, and they were going to deliver a baby. That's all we was going on. We was just like, because that was the whole thing. York his whole persona around us at the time was like the whole Mr. Han thing in Enter the Dragon, where you see him and a whole bunch of females around him, and he would say, "Oh, these are his daughters," because everybody knew he had a concubines,
Yeah.
and he was having all these concubines as the imam, and when he was pretending to be an imam, yeah, okay, as concubines, these are his children, not realizing that these girls were his lovers.
That's crazy.
Okay. And then Moose says, "Do you remember Noble Anthony Evans Buns? He taught
Yes,
classes."
yes. I texted Bun a couple of weeks ago. Yes, yes. And I
Okay. And
know,
Hada
and
says,
yes,
go ahead.
and his daughters, his twins. The twins they were part of the tribe. The twins said nothing happened. It wasn't until after York got incarcerated that the twins came out and said it happened. But regardless of what they said at the time, you had the evidence that spoke against them. That's why York lost the trial, because the evidence was against them. Because they knew in these child molestation cases, children are going to protect the person that they feared and the one that raised them. Listen, all of us, whether if we were not victims, all of us were brainwashed. All of us were fucked in the head because of York. If it was on one hand, some of us who may have been religious and we believed that he was the one to come because of socially, being black in society and being the underdog, and then we need some help here. Can somebody come from somewhere divine to help us? And then York played that role, especially when he would do these True Light tapes and as Imam Asa, and he would go out and try to break down the Bible and all this other shit, and he would be the one who was going to raise 144,000. He would be the incarnation of Melchizedek, Michael, and it is his job to get the 144,000 together, and we would be living in prophecy. And then when people say that, he would say, "I am not the Messiah," meaning York. I am not the Messiah, not yet. And we went on that and saying that he's going to manifest himself as being the true Messiah later on. This is what was fucked in the head to believe. And the kids were fucked in the head on another level when he was screwing them and making them feel that if you leave, you're going to go into the dunya, and those people are demons and they're going to hurt you. So your protection is the property that you're on now, because when York had his community set up, everything was centered around it being a sanctuary to protect them. Upstate New York was classified as Jazir Aba, which was supposed to be an Arabic term for the house of peace and protection. Brooklyn, the Ansar Allah community there on Hart Street.
Peace,
I think
Tarno.
something with Chuck Mike.
True peace, y'all. What's going on?
Peace, bro.
What's going on?
Something with your mic, Chucky. Please.
Chuck's signal's bad, so it might be getting ready to drop off.
If it do, he could just drop in and drop right in.
Yeah.
You might as well just do that one time, Chuck, because we need you right back right here. Because I got something to say. I want something to probably ask you.
I see his.
You might be able to ask Tarnoon and Uda.
Okay.
We talking, but you can't hear him. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, bro. Did you listen to Sister Uma? You heard Sister Uma just now?
Yeah. I heard the audio tape, but I didn't listen to when she was talking to Tahaka, I think earlier tonight or something like
today,
that.
Yeah, except today. I'm talking about like today. So I'm gonna say something like this to you or Chuck, right? Okay. So based on what she was saying, like even towards the end, you know what I mean? It started to get real, like, some pains. You could feel it, the tension in the conversation. And she was like, pointing like towards King Simon. She even, somewhat so exonerated Sarnetta in a point, also in there said, not so much, I don't know really about Sarnetta, but I know really King Simon was there, right? But then I would say like many like Nuwaupian followers, or maybe other people, because, we live in a follower era right now, are attacking, Sister Uma right now, right? So much so that she said even her mom, has turned her back on her too, said don't call her and nothing no more. But she even went on to say that relationship was pretty strained anyway. But even after saying all of that, she even still maintained her stance that they were meant to help the kids at first, but they're still profiting from the kids and all of these types of stuff, and no one should support them. This is like one of the last things she said on that stream. Like, listen, don't care. Nobody should support them. Like, straight up, like they're supposed to be supporting kids.
Let me ask you this, because what do you think she meant when she said that they first started out to help the kids? What kids? Your kids?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? She was just saying that, they I think she was talking about now, really. I didn't think about first. I think she's talking about now, right now. People are coming under the illusion of like they're helping kids, but they're still profiting right now and still doing shit right now. So don't support them, because she said something like that. Like I was like, I was trying to put out like who she was saying. Like she's like, so don't support it. I don't care. It's all fake. Don't support them. Don't support it. You know what I mean?
Well, I can speak to what I do know. That I know that Damon Pryor, aka Deuce York, the one who changed his name to Deuce York to pretend that he was connected or part of York's bloodline, and he forged a fake Ghana birth certificate in one of the books they put out a couple years ago. He went overseas, and they went to Liberia and set up some type of thing where they supposed to be helping Liberia kids and stuff like that. And you know, most people will find out that most criminals, if not all of them, will always have this face of philanthropy, and you know, they're giving away money, helping people and stuff like that. And I remember they got an old video you can still find with York giving, I think, like a $10,000 to $20,000 check to oh man, I think some organization for kids, but it was people on the land, children on the land that was barely eating. But
he gave them $20,000.
He gave him, I think, $20,000 to make a wish foundation.
And he said he wanted it to go to everybody except for Putnam County.
So that type of stuff is what people don't understand, and you will have many people who will verify when they went to the land to visit, that people would hit them up for a couple of dollars because they wasn't really eating. Prince York even was a victim of malnutrition. There was a lot of children that went through that, and so this is what happened. The same thing what you saying with Polite. Cult leaders do the same thing, except they don't film themselves antagonizing their followers, like what you see Polite and Young Pharaoh and them do. People who got money. The cult leader would use the teaching.
Oh wait, that shut came back again.
Yeah, you said the cult leader would use the teaching and then really stand on the basis of what they've built, really, instead of emotion.
Right, he used it, but again, that's one of the things of having followers being born into come in and then have children being born and raised up, because York had a community setting since the early 70s. So he had people coming in, leaving their kids. Some was having kids, and he having kids with those kids. So it's easily, when you're born into something, it's easily to be indoctrinated because you pass the information on. And then he kept warping it and transforming it and adding this and taking this out and things like that. I'm gonna give you a good example. Let me see screen share capabilities on here.
Yeah, go ahead and screen share, and I'll throw it up there. Chuck must be in a bad area because he keep dropping off. But keep going, so just push up when you just tell me when you put it up.
We wait for Chuck. If not, we can get Chuck called. Chuck could call me on the phone. There you go. Tell Chuck, give him my number. Okay. And I'll bring it right in the system.
Can you see that?
Private chat.
Can y'all see
that? Luda, you got a Facebook? That'll be better. Hold on. Yeah, I'm pulling it up now. There we go.
So you can see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, hold on. All right, so the picture y'all looking at is a picture of York on the end. The picture in the middle is whom York was saying was Anu, or the Most High, when he was teaching in the Sumerian schools and in the Holy Tabernacle ministries in the mid-90s. So when you look at the picture, you can see that York had these pictures drew in his image. Can y'all see it? You can see it, right? That look just like.
Yes, I seen the one the other day in Harlem. I seen one the other day in a couple of places in the city. Still there.
All right. So what you're doing is you are not only are you indoctrinating people a certain kind of way. Excuse me. He had a lot of drawings.
Deifying himself.
He put his own face image in there. Yeah. So if you get worshiping this drawing and saying this drawing is the Most High, and then Watkins to tell you that York said that the Most High would be the most intelligent person in that day and time. Like he would say Elijah Muhammad, and he said Master Prophet Muhammad was the Allah or Anu in his day and time, and then Elijah Muhammad would take his place. like that. And then he said when he came, he would be the, first he said he was Melchizedek and Murdoch and all that stuff. But then he said as time went on, he gained more knowledge. So he left that seat open and he became the Anu, because he taught that Anu was a seat or position. But the point is, if you saying that this being lived millions and millions of years ago, why does this person that lived millions of years ago look like a modern day human? That makes no sense. You understand? There's no way if you can manifest an image of something of a human being that lived 200,000 years ago wouldn't look like us. So you talking about an extraterrestrial? That's what I'm saying. These type of things is what happens when you start to like I said, we've been at this for years. And so when we go and break these stuff down, it just exposes that. Like, here goes some of the hypocrisy, like right here, right? You'll put out this book called Actual Facts, right? And he talks about the image of the beast. You see the black woman with the look like Marilyn Manson?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now the lady to the right used to be his lawyer, Victoria Broussard. Now look at her hair. So the thing is, y'all make me write books or write letters, and they turn into books and talk about how black women is following the Caucasian in the image of the beast. But you had a lawyer that looked like this. You see what I'm saying? Then you go down here, you see more pictures. So it's a lot of hypocrisy you'll see in these particular within the different parts of the doctrine. This is why me and Chuck is hated a lot, because we made sure that we put everything we talk about, we lay it out, just like his website. It has the books, the plagiarism. We got so many things. It's not that we try to go at a lot of the wrongness with the people per se, but you have certain people that come out of the cult that are out of their mind, and we have to address that. Like Prince York, Polite. It's a handful of different people, and these cults keep doing this because nobody really pays them attention. And one of the issues that I used to have with Sarnetta is that you keep talking about Africa and this and that and the ancestors, but you had these pedophiles up on your platform multiple times throughout the years, and then they're wearing so-called Egyptian or Kemet style symbols that are corrupt. And you can't find it nowhere in ancient Africa, and they still parading around like it's okay. And they go up there and nobody challenges them. And even I remember King Simon was on Sarnetta platform one day when they was out at one of those I think it was at some type of I think it was vending somewhere, and that's when they had asked Pharaoh and another guy about York telling them to support the LGBT and all that stuff there, and they were just looking crazy. And King Simon was telling them, I come from that background, the answer law and all the stuff like that, and he was questioning them. But like I said, this is the hypocrisy of Sarnetta. How can you have somebody interviewing a bunch of pedophile worshipers talking about y'all support the LGBTQ and y'all trying to talk to them, but then you have them on your platform at the same time? Same thing with Polite. Polite was on there, I think, with a brother maybe a week or two after that happened, talking about that whole scenario. And Polite was sitting right there next to one of the Nuwaupian dudes. And he was like, yo, if we're going to go after the Nuwaupians, well, we need to go in order. We need to go at the religions. And, that's what Polite did. He always tried to reroute and protect them to an extent. But, it was just, go ahead.
Did I ask the birth certificate question?
Did it say they
was York on the birth certificates? Not on the majority of them. Not for them underage girls. He wasn't.
Did you know if York is on the children's birth certificate or his own birth certificate?
On the children.
Heck no, of course he wouldn't, because they was even down there. Some of them still had to go to the hospital, and from what I heard, they were saying that it was so many females that was teenagers going to the hospital to have the babies, that's also was what got the hospital's attention too. That's another thing that
it was the
not paying
building across the street. It was the
Huh?
hospital. It was the hospital, and it was the building across the street. Because the lady office desk pointed towards the hospital, and she was like, it was kind of funny because it'd be groups of young girls that was pregnant that was going out there, and you know they just go out there. And then I guess somebody talked to one of the nurses at the hospital, and the nurse was telling them the ages, and it was like something ain't right. And coupled with everything else they knew.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a hospital across from the land because that was like on Shadydale Road. It was
Yeah.
just a bunch of trees, so they had to go in the town to get that prenatal care and stuff like that. But yeah, that was one of the first things that that got York being looked at, because them girls still had to go at a certain time. They had to go off the land. Some women got real sick because York didn't want them to leave the land to go to the hospital because he knew that was going to draw attention, especially you having all these women, these teens going up here having these kids, and ain't nobody signing the birth certificate. So that was going on too. And he had a lot of people that was living up there that was grown. They had no social security cards. It was just a hot mess, you know. And that's why when the court was saying that York created that place just for his own sexual pleasures, people was like, nah, that's not true. But York created that place and told everybody that by the year 2000, everybody need to be on the land because it's going to be a food shortage and it's going to be this and that, and that the Anunnaki was going to land on there and take people up from the land itself. That's supposed to be the landing spot. But when York started getting in trouble and he started hearing about the police and the FBI was investigating, that's when he tried to move off the land and move to Athens. So people don't understand that if you say that we supposed to have been coming down there on the land to escape the war between the angel Michael and all this stuff and the devil and all this crap, what you moved to Athens for? So a lot of the Nuwaupians or Sabians, today they're called, especially the old heads, they don't want to deal with some of the things that York taught that was an absolute, that was going to happen. But when he started getting close to the, year 2000, stuff started happening as far as, problems with these women and these children. So he just kind of went against everything he said. And so the stuff that he told people to get them to come to the court, he started changing certain things. Like I had got into a conversation debate with Prince York about the 144,000 and how, York did by the year 2000 between, they was going to happen. They were going to get scooped up and go away for a day on Earth, but 1,000 years would have been passed. They was going to go to the planet, ship the Nibiru and get taught and come back to the planet and save the planet and all of that. So when he got locked, then he was talking about 2003, and the date just kept moving and moving. So I was asking Prince York, it was a couple of him and some Nuwaupians at the time, and we was debating on Facebook, and he was like, some of them was like, the 144,000 already came and left. And Prince was like, no, it didn't happen yet, or it happened, but the 144,000 that got took was some reptilians that came and abducted a bunch of white people. It's just, again, the doctrine. That's what me and Chuck was dealing with too. We deal with the absolute stuff that they claim was supposed to happen because it was a prophecy, right? But once the leader gets caught, the prophecy is one of the main things that people need to look at. That's a killer for a cult or a large group of people. When they give you a date and the date come and it don't happen, it's like, okay, that's the end, because that's what a lot of these cults do. They always give you approximates, and as soon as the approximates don't count, they'll start scapegoating. I got a word from the Galactical Federation of Negroes, sent down the nigger angel, and they said because these niggas did this, we gonna push the date back. It's always some old grandioso bull crap lie that they tell, some hotness, and people just keep going for it. So go figure. Yeah, Ramesses Riches. Chuck still ain't
Hey,
muted that.
Book. Say what? Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just typing too.
I'm trying to see what happened to Chuck because he said he ain't got to go to work for a couple hours.
He fell off because his signal was bad, so he probably wait until he get to a better signal and then come back.
Yeah, it dropped the hammer. Yeah, he said, "What the hell?" Yeah. No. He said that the 144,000. Well, you know, it's funny you said that because they have different classes of reptilians.
And just like that, you called Chuck Norgan name 3 times and here it is.
Yeah, it dropped the hammer. Yeah, he said, "What? Chuck coming back?"
Yeah, he right there now. He just popped in.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so it was reptilians that Ramesses said had came and picked up the 144,000 people to eat them. So they changed it from the Anunnaki who's coming on the Biru and smaller ships called Shams. They was like part reptilian and part, Redskin or whatever. But what I'm saying is the whole story changed once York got locked. The whole reason why he was making this stuff made known was just to gather them to come down there to the land so he can rape 144,000. He wasn't trying to raise them; he was trying to rape them. That's why he did that. But go ahead, Chuck.
Oh, they said that they did run psychological test on York. What was he, a cluster B personality type?
Okay, hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. We can.
All right. I'm sorry about that, man.
No problem. We
damn.
understand. Hey, look, when it's getting good, somebody gonna drop out. You better be glad it wasn't me.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing, Tom?
What's going on, Chuck? 2 Piece. You know how we do.
Yeah, man. I'm mad because all the shit we've been doing for all these years, the hours and hours and hours and hours of shows to debunk anything that these fools can come with, and we getting because of the status of his daughter and the things that she's saying. Everybody seems to forget about the man.
Right.
But anyway, where we at, man? Because
you was stopping. I forgot where you stopped at.
Test is the current question in the chat.
Yeah.
Was he a type B? He was a cluster B personality type, right?
York was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic. If you go to the website, you can see, was Malachi York ever diagnosed as being having mental problems?
You want me to go to it?
Yeah, could you go there because I can't.
Yeah. You know I got you.
Because exactly what I'll be scrolling and searching.
Yeah, because in 2003, his attorneys had recommended to the in the pretrial recommended that he go through a psychological evaluation because some of the crazy stuff he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying he would when he would the few times that he spoke at trial. I'm sorry, the few times that he would speak, he would make declarations that he is a Native American of the Yamasee Creek Indians, and that he feels that he should be placed into the custody of his tribal members and be held in their courts. Now, none of this, you don't hear nothing about Liberia, you don't hear nothing about Ghana, you don't hear none of that crazy stuff that started coming out after the fact.
Wait a minute, is it diagnosed as delusional?
Yes.
York was diagnosed. Okay, hold on. I'm finna share the screen. You keep talking. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull that up. 1 second. Okay,
now and also that crazy gene is in the family bloodline, and I'm not saying that to be disparaging. I'm saying that because that is what
we have a genetically passed mental condition.
Yes, and that because his one of his great on his mother's on his father's side, I believe, there was a history of individuals being in mental institutions.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all can see it.
Yes. You on a big screen?
Yeah, on that in that article, you can see what he was diagnosed as in being delusional, and a lot of this kind of explains where he would ramble on about being visited by extraterrestrials in jail and other places, and his position on having the crazy things that he started teaching, claiming that he was the grandson of the Akkadian god Anu.
I already showed him that picture already.
Oh,
how he looked just like they had him drawn in his image and yours.
Yeah. Yeah, that was drawn by who drew? Oh, that was Nikki Lopez drew that picture of the fake Anu. There is no picture of Anu in Mesopotamian literature, but that was the thing, because as she was saying, he put that he wanted pictures that kind of looked like him, because he was a part. He wanted to pull the persona that he was part of that ancestral bloodline.
Yeah, they say he was with Axis 1 clinical syndrome of delusional paranoid disorder.
Yep.
Adjustment disorder with depressed mood, and Axis 2 personality disorders, historic personality traits, self-defeating personality traits, and schizopath personality features.
He was a nut, in other words. But he wasn't so crazy that he couldn't stand trial. That's what it came out. He had these weird delusional thoughts in his head, but he was competent to stand trial. That's what that came to be.
Anything else you want me to look up, or you?
No. You be the you be the man for that, because I can't do it from where I'm sitting right now.
All right, cool. So I'm saying you want me to stop screen sharing, or you?
Yeah. You can stop now.
Okay, just let me know. I got you.
Copy that.
All right.
What was some of the questions? Because I want to make sure that the people get this stuff cleared up.
Okay. Well, you answered. Oh, did your biological family members try to get you out and deprogram you?
Who?
YouTube.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
Did your biological families try to get you out and deprogram you?
I don't really understand the question. When you saying the you mean me personally, or in a general?
Yes, you or Tarnoonan personally.
Oh no, hell no. Let me tell you something. My folks say, man, look. I mean, everybody knew I wasn't nothing wrong with me. Because when I was when I had my store and my community in Baltimore, man, I didn't teach half of the stuff that he was pushing, because my thing was I ain't had no proof. When he started pushing the stuff about he being from the planet Risk, and people coming to class who wanted to to get explanations about Risk, and I couldn't break none of that stuff down, So I would sidetrack the answer and say that, well, I can't really expound on that, because that is his experience. But the next time that I go down, I'll ask him, and if he wants to answer that question, I'll be happy to share that with you next Sunday.
Okay, cool.
So nobody tried to deprogram me, because none of my folks even knew I was involved with this nutty crazy stuff.
Yeah, what my mother did, and some of my my brothers and sisters when they was younger, and they used to, ooh and ah with some of the pictures and stuff, because a lot of the knowledge they didn't retain it just because they was younger, and that was like out of their scope of what they was, learning in just everyday life. So they wouldn't, if I told them like about the secret society stuff, that only spooked them. And then you start talking about aliens, that spooked them too. And then, my mother, she was a little, concerned, but not really. I don't. The only time she felt the way is when we went to the land, and we was doing the beating the drums all night, and everybody was just standing out there in line, and we were just talking and chanting different little names, and there was a UFO sighting though that night when we was out there, and it came down pretty low. It looked like the little crown on the back of the books, because I never forget that. And you can hear it humming. and it just came down. It was like zoop zoop. You can hear it real humming, and it glowed red, and then it disappeared. And I remember I called her from the hotel room and told her what I said. She was like, "I'm finna call the FBI right now." But it was so funny. It was just hilarious because I was excited, but she's I'm finna call the FBI, but she probably was just saying that. But it was so funny. But then years later, when he got locked up, she was like, "Good." That was it. So, as far as that, like Chuck was saying, it was just information. I never lived on it. I never was down on the land like that. I just visited for class and stuff. So I was never full-fledged, robot mode. So I was more of a studier like Chuck. And y'all can see that now for those who've been paying attention for years. That's where I was at. I was into the information, and eventually, when York got locked, and then started comparing everything that I had and stuff that was coming in, I just started naturally seeing the contradiction, because you didn't have nobody over you whispering in your ear, trying to make you think what you were seeing was either a mistake by the book people that produced it or whatever. And so it took a while to wash off, as far as the worshiping and the over honoring and like I said, the information, what people are doing, they're praising information, but they putting the man in front of the information. And because of that, they believe because certain things are true, it makes the man true. But you got corrupt people who can kick a lot of information, and Polite is a good example of that, up to date. Because a lot of times when you see about people going to jail, they older people, you know what I'm saying? Older men or older women who've been doing a con game for years. So there's a gap between the new generation. So now you got young Pharaoh, Polite. You got all these different people who are now in the same age bracket, and people can see them more versus what me and Chuck seen when we came up. You just seen people on TV, and every now and then you'll see a famous person get caught up on TV, but it don't mean nothing to you per se, because you didn't follow that. You like, oh, okay, this preacher just went to jail for whatever, and you just move on. So
like when people showed up on Jenny Jones and Donahue and
right, stuff like that. That's what you used to seeing it from a distance, but they still was always older than you. So you never seen a young person reach a certain level, and then you be like, oh, now I can kind of see. So Polite, the positive is you can see the way a scammer and a gift of gab criminal moves.
Okay.
Chuck.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you remember the white woman who was Nuwaupian, who owned an All Eyes and bookstore in Georgia somewhere, Susan something? He forgot her last name.
Yeah. That was the person I was telling you about before. Yeah, Susan, that's her name. Yep. I'm gonna send you some pictures of it. I don't know if you've ever seen it before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Hada said, do y'all deprogram ex-Nuwaupians?
I wouldn't say, in my case, I wouldn't say necessarily deprogram, other than beating the hell out of them and refuting that stupid stuff that they teach. Maybe that was some form of.
These ain't the people you see on the reality shows. Remember, we black.
Yeah. So in that sense, maybe, because you can go back years earlier when I first started doing this stuff, and I was fighting these people, and a whole lot of them switched up over time. So a seed may have been planted, and then they were able to see something that must have affected them, that they made a switch, and they're okay now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a couple of people that said they came out of it from looking at the work I've been doing on by myself and with Chuck and them as well. So yeah, it's been
we got all three in there, so I know that.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. Thanks. Yeah. All right.
No, they thinking about them when you see it on a TV show where somebody pull up in a van and snatch a cult member up in a room and shit, and they sit up there talking to her for 48 hours. Y'all I said, we black. It don't work that way.
No, it's only gonna make them believe what they teaching is true because you did that.
Yeah.
It only make it worse. Oh, see, I knew it was true.
Oh,
You know,
chat a question. She said, "When did York first become noticeable? I mean, when does anyone know much about his youth?"
okay, real fast. As far as his youth is concerned, we do have insight into his childhood based on his sister Dale York, and what she attested to in the pre-sentencing investigation report, and how it was 5 of them. It was
what's the name of it? I could pull it up on the site.
Oh, go to the article. Was York born in Ghana?
Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
Okay.
and York had 5 siblings. It was his oldest brother Oba, who formed the Islamic mission in Brooklyn. The people who wore green. He's the oldest. His name is David Piper York Jr. And then York, Dwight York, and then you had another sister who passed, and then you had I forgot, Dennis York. He died also, and then you had Dale.
Mm-hmm.
So as a child, according to what's written in the documents for the pre-sentencing investigation report, they grew up in poverty, and the mother would send them to different relatives from time to time. She didn't have much as far as raising them, and the father, David Piper York, he pretty much had abandoned the family. So York, in Brooklyn, he may have, because I haven't found any evidence to support the fact that he claimed that in 1959 he lived in the Islamic mission in Brooklyn under Sheikh Daoud Ahmed Faisal. I haven't seen any evidence of that, nor has anybody within that organization ever corroborated York's claim. But you do find Sheikh Daoud coming to Bushwick Avenue, but you can't trust that, because York exploited anybody that came around him to give the impression that they supported him.
Yeah, they was like the impression of the.
Can y'all see it? I was screen sharing, but I don't know.
Okay. Photo op in the dictionary.
Yes. That was a big ass photo op. If you can pull it up, or just look up for the one.
Are you ready? Okay, hold
on. I got it, but I'm screen sharing it, but I don't.
Okay, yeah, okay, all right. So the picture you see right here.
Go ahead.
The picture you see there, from what I can see, because I got this thing that says high read screen. Anyway, that's York's mother.
Keep going.
That is Fatima. She passed. May she rest in peace.
2011. Mm-hmm.
And yes, that's York's mother. So if you go down, because I wanted you to go down and show all 5 of them.
Okay.
I put it now. Oh, let me get some context of these pictures that you see in here. Okay, so that's that birth. See that birth certificate right there. Now York used that to try to say that, or try to be as some evidence to say that he was raised by Sheikh Daoud from age 12 up until his adulthood. And on that right there, it has the name, that the Islamic name that Sheikh Daoud had gave him. But again, no proof that he stayed with Sheikh Daoud at that location from age 12. Now, he may have been with other relatives, because again, the mother couldn't support her kids, so she sent them to different places and different people. That is her tombstone, of course.
All right, 2012.
Yeah, Mary C. Williams was her maiden name. Mary C. Williams. That is Mary C. Williams' mother. That's York's grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, Leah. Somebody Mujed did something. Yeah, is Leah one of his daughters? Yes, Leah is one of his daughters, and she helped me with these pictures. By the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's Sheikh Daoud right there.
Yes, that's Sheikh Daoud. And it was now you got to understand. Let me see if we can bring some context real quick. Let me see here. Okay, So with this picture, it was one of the times that Sheikh Daoud visited the Bushwick Avenue a property of York, the Ansar on Bushwick Avenue, Hart Street, and he would have various celebrations there, like a Mahdi Day. Now, by he coming there, just his presence alone, it gives credibility to York being some of the things that he claimed to be. He didn't. Sheikh Daoud doesn't say anything to support York. It's just his presence being there gave the implication to the onlooker that, oh, it must be true that he was raised by Sheikh Daoud or anybody else.
Just lies on top of lies.
Okay, because if you can speed it up, because I wanted to, I really wanted people to see, like, because there's only one picture that you have of York as a teen. Or as a young boy. Now there are others, but because it's a family thing, and a lot of his family don't even want to be associated with this crazy stuff. Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's one of the that's him at around age 12 or 13. So to answer that question, if I can just sum it up real quick, there's little information about his upbringing because he was very specific on hiding that stuff. But from what we do know, he was a career criminal, just a juvenile gang member who got into various skirmishes, and he eventually got into a serious altercation that resulted. Okay, hold that right there. Got into a serious altercation that caused him to get sent to jail for shooting someone with a zip gun. All right, so if you look at it right here, the person on the far left, that is Brother Oba, and that is the oldest of the siblings. And then you have Dale, who's active within the organization. And right now they have this war going on between different fractions within the Nuwaupian cult, and they're labeling her a witch at this point. And his the sister Deborah York, she passed also. I mean, she rest in peace. And then you have Dennis Craig York. That's his brother who looked just like him, but he was homeless for a while too, which is a whole nother story. So the person, that's David Piper York. That's York's father.
On the top left.
Yeah, that's David Piper York. And then the picture under him, that's David Piper York, one of the older photos. Now, these images were supplied from the family because whether people realize it or not, there is a long family line, and a lot of them have photos of their members of their family. It's the people who are outside the family who may not be familiar with all of this stuff, because as far as they're concerned, York just got dropped off by some ETs and then went to work. Okay. Said thanks, saw you earlier. Okay, I'm trying to look at the screen. Okay, so yeah, the reason I put this up was to show you that the person on the far right is of the Mahdi family of Sudan that York had for decades claimed to be his actual father. Okay, and this person here is supposed to be related to the Mahdi the Mahdi of 1845 in Sudan, but this person has no blood relation whatsoever to the York family at all. So that lie was something that York perpetrated for decades, and it wasn't exposed until Bilal Phillips wrote his book, where they went in on the York bloodline, and they couldn't find any corroborating evidence to support that he had that. And in fact, even if you go if further on, you can go up where Leah York had even.
You want me to go back?
Yeah, go up, because one of the things she was saying that you can't even love your own family when you're trying to get away from your own name.
Exactly.
Okay, right there.
Right here?
Go down a little bit. Cause go up. Stop at the birth certificate. I want to show something real quick. Go to the birth certificate right there.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone because if you look on this, because there's this big conspiracy that his name was not Dwight York, and the birth certificate only says York. Of course, because he was born at home. He wasn't born in a hospital. And it wasn't until later on that they to determine what his name was going to be. Dwight was his name growing up. It's not on the birth certificate because they hadn't named him yet. And you got a witness right there. If you look at the birth certificate, you see the witness who was there when the birth took place. So they can't deny this because this is the birth certificate that York had brought out. Even though it wasn't as crisp and sharp as you see here, we had to go and actually get the birth certificate. But York in the book, Let's Set the Record Straight, he tried to go off of this thing when Bilal Phillips and them started showing that he wasn't related to the Mahdi family. He started using the birth certificate here and said that, oh, on my mother's side, I come to find out that as the family of the Yorks, I'm related to Ben York of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Lie. And because of that, they in that book start going into all this Native American stuff, and then he's trying to claim that he's related to Ben York's relatives, and that if you look at the book. The Black Devils. I'm sorry, the wrong book. The book of the Black Indians. The book, The Black Indians. On the second page, there's a brown skinned tribal girl named
Sacagawea?
Huh?
Sacagawea?
No, not her. Diana Fletcher. Her name is Diana Fletcher. Okay, try to say that Diana Fletcher was related to him as his aunt. No proof. And I know that because I was asked to go into the National Archives with another brother to pull up any documentation of the names that he gave me of what to research and to try to link them back to his family line as being part Native American. And I had to tell him, no, we couldn't find any information whatsoever of your family being related to any Native American group.
Okay, Moose said Leah lived in Columbia, South Carolina. He remembers her boyfriend. He saw them at the barbershop owned by some Nuwaupians there.
Okay.
And then I ain't gonna play no music or nothing, but we gotta have a comedic break, and we got new people over here. So Chuck, tell us about Pickle Man.
Pickle Man is a character that York put in one of his publications, about two or three of his publications, and it was all in conjunction with the Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Predator, and other various beings from outer space.
You got an article in here?
Oh,
yeah. There's a Pickle Man article up there. It's just it's humorous at this point because the brother Malik. He saw a video I did of that and an article, and he just went with it and started challenging Nuwaupians.
Oh, hell, the Pickle Man.
He started challenging, and that used to piss them off because they couldn't even explain it.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Shout out Enter the Crisis. If you don't know, go like, share, and subscribe, and you go find out.
Yeah. So that.
I'm skipping.
Yeah, Pickle Man, maybe.
That come up every time, boy.
Man.
But we got 145 people here. You know, we have like tops 30, 45. Okay, so for the new people, we need to know about Pickle Man, and we needed a laugh to get some of the stress off. This is not the most fun topic to do. But
it's crazy, man. Pickle Man, the real man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Why do
But
they
see, everybody. No, let's get to the real quick.
Pickle
So,
Man real.
I guess because when you read, because York put out all kinds of books, and so many books came out that people didn't really have time to digest the information. I was just had time to go through stuff. So when I saw that, I thought it was hilarious, and then I said, "Damn, this is Pickle Man," and I'm looking at that silly name, and then I'm looking at the way that they got him depicted with a little utility belt like Batman or something like. What the fuck? I said, I hope nobody asks me about this shit because I can't explain this shit.
We only bring Pickle Man up for comedic relief.
Yeah,
and
man, that's hilarious, man.
With
yeah,
his
that joke was
now
hilarious.
copyrighted entrance, all hell Pickle Man. You know.
Yeah. So that's your comic relief for the night.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Clear says, why do they pose with Queen E?
With who?
Queen E. Crystal, can you are you talking about Queen Afua? No, her name starts with an A, don't it? I don't know.
Hey, Mama Rico, true peace.
Hey, dude, you still ain't told me what to call you yet. Hey, Darren, you running late.
Did you interview any of the concubine ghostwriters? Yes, I have. If you go to my YouTube channel, some of them are on there, and a couple of them didn't want to have to do videos, so we just did the messenger correspondences.
Yeah, if any, look, I'm gonna tell you now because I'll forget later. If any of them want to come on and they just want to do it by phone, I have that option.
We're gonna set something up. Because I was talking to Nikki yesterday, and we was going over some of this stuff. You know, I mean, listen, a lot of them that moved on from this stuff. You know, because all it does is just bring back. It just brings back a lot of old memories of sexual trauma that they don't even want to have to deal with anymore. And even with Nikki, they still attacking her.
That's damn.
You know, and I said, don't worry, honey, I got you. I'll go out. I go after them. Come on with it. You know, I got nothing but time.
Hey, we got a new black show. Chuck Morgan, Nuwaupian.
Yeah. Or no, Hunter or Assassin. Was York illiterate? I think Saida said that actually was York illiterate. I wouldn't say he was illiterate, but he did have cognitive issues because he was a junior high school dropout, and a lot of all the writing was conducted by various members of the organization. Peace, Michael Phillips. Yeah,
they're going to Pickle Man drawn out of the book is God an extraterrestrial.
Right now,
right top left. That's the actual drawing.
Before I forget, somebody emailed me a question, and they want to know: do you guys know about the golden child that was supposed to go between the two homosexuals?
It's 4, not 2.
What?
Mm-hmm. They said it was a ritual. You can find some of this stuff in a book called Dimensional Shift, but they claim that you got to have 4 hermaphrodites. 2.
Say that book name again.
The Dimensional Shift. They talk about it over there.
Dimensional Shift. Okay.
It's called Dimensional Shift, where they talk about that they descended. The Nuwaupians teach that they descended from hermaphrodite homosexuals or homosexual, and hermaphrodites can't reproduce. I'm like, how the hell y'all come from hermaphrodites? So it's just too much. I got a couple of articles in our Facebook group dismantling that whole thing. It made no sense. But yeah, they teach that they have to get a child and put them in between 4 hermaphrodites that will have gay sex that's supposed to open up the dendera, right? The Egyptian zodiac sign, right? The dendera, and they saying the dendera is not a zodiac map or whatever it is. It's a constellation over there. That's how they mapped it in that time. And they said it's really a gateway to open up a portal, but only through gay sex that it'll open with a child in the middle, and the gay aliens are gonna come through and take them off the earth. That's the short version.
Okay, so back to that other question before that one, the one about the E. She said there's a black and white photo with family men posing with a crowned white woman, and she assumed it was Queen Elizabeth. Didn't you have a white wife?
I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pull that picture up. Let me see. There go one picture we got. That's the white woman right there. I don't know if y'all can see that real good. Let me know if it's showing. Did the screen change?
No.
No, it's still on Pickle Man.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me change it. Hold on. Let me flip it.
You can copy and paste the URL into that tab.
Hold on. Let me just switch it over. My bad. Hold on.
You ready?
Right there.
Okay. Okay. Tell them I'll be there in a minute. Hey, can y'all take that for right now? I gotta go and pick up my girl.
Oh yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah, I'll hold it down. You gonna come back?
I know you was busy tonight, and this was impromptu, but thank you for coming. As always.
Hey, look, hell, we can. Hey, listen, we can do a marathon, goddamn it, because when I go to work, you know
what?
I'm on my computer all night.
In the back, somebody hit me up in the back, and they said that they wondered if you would be willing to hold on. I'm trying to make sure I've heard it. They want to do a victim story a week until the polite trial. If the victims would be willing, the victims.
You would have to. I don't even know how you can contact them, but I couldn't even. I don't know if they would even agree with that because, like I said, a lot of them just want to get away from that stuff. Remember, you got to understand these people were constantly being attacked.
Yeah,
pictures of them put out. Their family members were attacked. They threatened to kill them. They threatened if they speak, they would be killed. Man, these people went through a lot of stuff.
You seeing that with Uma right now? Uma's going through that right now. Uma's going through that right now.
Did the page change the picture?
Hey, look, I'll be back. I'll be back.
No, it's hold on, I'll put it back up.
Salute to Chuck Morgan. Remember to go and subscribe to Chuck Morgan's YouTube and Nuwaupianism.com. His website is in the chat. Nuwaupianism.com. Salute to Chuck Morgan. Uncle Chuck, big bro Chuck. Most definitely
out here doing the work.
But we rocking right now. Ccctv and Tar News dropping some jewels right now, man. What's up, brother?
That's one picture right there with the white woman with York and them when they went to they went up to this, like I think 1999, where they went to Washington D.C. for some type of event, and York and them went and prayed around the white obelisk, which he called Cleopatra's needle or Osiris' penis. And the thing is about this is that York taught in a lot of his class. He wrote a book called Leviathan 666. He wrote some like way back in the 70s and 80s. He redid it, and then in like 96. And he always talked about how Washington D.C. was evil and that it was pentagrams and stuff and all. Because he took that from, I think, what's his name? He passed now.
Behold the pale horse guy.
No, it's a black guy. He always just say check, light skinned guy.
Bobby Hemmett.
No. He died. He had one in the hospital, and they moved him from a hospital. They was trying to kill him, and he had got a phone. He got a phone and called his son and to come get him. I can't think of his name right now. Good grief! But yeah, after all the stuff that York taught against Washington D.C. and said Washington was phonetically same as Washington, and when you saying Wa mean and in Arabic and Shaitan Arabic word for the he talked all these things about Washington. Then he still went right up there and dressed like that and had this is one Caucasian Nuwaupian with him after saying white people is the devil and all this old crap. This is why Polite followed the same blueprint. He taught that the white man was the devil. He said whatever he needed to say to Sarnetta's and them audience. And then once he started getting some bread, then he started like, I ain't gonna teach my child that the white man is the devil because that means I'm weak. We all heard all this stuff. He just totally did a 180. But if you look at
Steve Coakley,
that's it. Rest in peace, Steve
I
Copeland.
had a total brain fart.
Yeah, that's who used to show all that stuff in his lectures back then. And you know, York got that from him. All the people with the boule and all that crap. Steve Coakley bust that whole thing wide open, and that's what they saying. That's why he was ended up being targeted, because he revealed that boule information. So it's a lot, man. You know, with these, you know, when you talk about the conscious community and then they take information and run with it, and a lot of that stuff is stuff that different parts of the government did filter into, you know, black people's circle of getting misinformation. And it's just a lot. But that's just one person with the white Nuwaupian. We got so many pictures in here. There's another one. Tell me if y'all can see this picture.
It hasn't switched yet. You still on the white woman and the Egyptian white woman.
All right, let me know.
They remaking Cleopatra again, y'all. It's a white dude on the screen.
Okay, you did. That's another Nuwaupian. That's white. See, and I did this post, and Al Carter shared this post in our group, May 14, 2017. So you can see him with a Dr. York shirt on one of they religious books. So they're hypocrites. They're hypocrites.
Yes. Just like young Pharaoh. He started out with, just like young Pharaoh. Hey, thank you, Michael. Hey, remember WD Ford got run off because of what? The guy said that he was telling folk the white man was the devil and had to be eradicated.
Yeah, it's insanity.
He wasn't black. I know that much. I ain't gonna say he was white, but he wasn't black.
Yeah, they saying it was a between being some type of Polynesian or just Caucasian in general, but either way, like right here, and then this lies that York was teaching. Fard never said that. Let me see.
Yeah, Moo, he said he remember her. What, you want a last name or something? That would probably be something you would ask Chuck offline. You know we on Facebook.
Who that?
Chuck. Let's move in the chat.
Oh, okay. And this is the one of the books I was talking about right here. Let me see if it can come up. This is one of the books that I was telling you about. See right here? All right, let me know when it change.
It's up there.
All right, you see the spell of Leviathan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now this is the book that he claimed was all of what the book of Revelation talk about, 7 crowns and 10 horns, and it got different races of people. The Caucasian represent America and Britain and China and all this stuff. But then he talked about how evil Washington, D.C. was, right? So again, if you look at it here, it says the devil has duplicated the obelisks like those from Egypt and has placed them in principal cities around the world. There are a total of 13 in Rome, and the most prominent of them is in St. Peter's Square at the Vatican to the Jesuit Masons and the Illuminati. It secretly stands for one world government. The obelisk is also a symbol that represents the sun god Baal and life through sex. They realized that through sexual intercourse, life was produced. Therefore, the obelisk was considered, along with the sun, a symbol of life. It is a phallic symbol. So, you know, this is the stuff he got. He's showing you, you know, the obelisk and these different places that he talked about around the world, including DC. And so when York went to again, he put this book out in like 96. So when he ended up going to which I'm showing you right here, when he went to Washington D.C., this is pure hypocrisy. And this is what I'm saying. This is why me and Chuck have such a you know, a stain on their movements, because they don't like to deal with the reality of the hypocrisy. And you can't. This is why you got all these people like Polite and them. They claim to be pro-black, but they just saying that to get in. And when they finish, then they come back and then they switch the game up on you. So you just, people just start here looking crazy because they don't know what to do.
Yep.
And that just be one of those things. Anybody got more questions or?
Do we have more questions? Do we have more questions? Family, they are here. Now is the time to ask questions.
Eugene!
Eugene! George! Hey, George! Tell Eugene we talking about it, man. It's Pappy. Oh, who said Susan had Egyptian garb on in a photo?
Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can find it. I know what they talking about. Give me a second. I know what they talking about. I'm gonna pull it up. Give me a second. I know exactly what they talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's why we hero right now. Afro anti-theist. Because we care about the women and the children, and we don't want to see this happen again. Once again, while Tar Noonan looks for that picture, thank you all for the donations. They go to the Snacky Snack Book Fund and things like paying for Restream. We have reached the mark for the 1,000, but YouTube has not yet unasked the community tab. The point of exposing this is so people know what was going on, so you know what to look for. This is why we up here. We might laugh and shit, but you try talking about this shit all day. You try researching this shit all day. You try hearing this sick stuff of the victims. Hey, laugh, or you can just stop doing it. I'd rather laugh and keep going. Yeah, we got it, Joseph. Thank you. He must be back in the video. He ain't on the live.
Let me see. I think I got a clue. I know who they talk about. I'm just trying to find that other picture.
How did Polite quit the pollute? Well, I don't know if he was actually an actual Nuwaupian. He was just a for the story.
Who they talking
about? He said, how did Polite quit the Nuwaupians? When was it, and what did they think?
He never quit. He just wanted to do his own thing because he was undercover. Because it looked like since it came out that he was dealing with,
So he was there just to get followers.
Yeah, and punish the conscious community for letting York down. I'm still looking, but I'm gonna show you something else. While
you don't care, you in the wrong chat, homie. Cavalier, peace and welcome. Brother, if the pedophiles type in complete sentences, dude.
Please do. And drop a like while you're typing. Drop a like, get the likes up. You already know 130-something people in the chat, 60-something likes in there. We do better than that. Even if you're a hater, you have felt some sort of like in your life. Drop a like right there. Hater, drop your likes.
Is the picture showing yet?
Hold on. Let me pull it up. Susan was German and some part European. He don't remember exactly.
Oh, so you have to do something every time before a show?
If you keep switching tabs. Hold on.
Now this is one of the pictures where you can see the lady up close. But I know who they talking about. That's the one they talking about. She throwing her hands up. We're gonna get to it in a second. That's another guy right here too.
Mods, hide the body. Don't bother time. Just hide the body. We don't take kindly to disrespect to victims over here. And I don't know why the little prude YouTube bot didn't spot that. Oh, Matrix says when the brother of York's daughter was shot, did Polite do it?
Well, according to what we've been hearing, that she was the aggressor and not Polite.
That's what we heard, yeah.
So,
but the reason this video is titled like it is because we were going through a court record. Now we might have to put that on hold and finish it out tomorrow. Somebody hide the body. I'll do it. Oh, he's still typing, but we can't see it over here. What the fuck?
I'm trying to see, where's that? What you call it? That where it had there? Was he? Well, that's the lady he was standing next to with that when he gave that $20,000 check.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find this other one. I know what picture they looking for. I got it. I just got to pull it up. And that's the thing, you know.
Yeah.
They get us. They get us because we still go through stuff with Caucasian people up to date, and so they'll just come in and play on that. But a lot of them
not just going by one other Nuwaupian's word, man. Because it don't make sense if Polite was the aggressor. Because we done heard Ezekiel say that Polite had permission to run the bookstore from York. Correct, Tarnoonan? Ain't that what Ezekiel said?
That's what Ezekiel said. And Inky, you got to get with Inky and tell him to give you that book where it show all them documents. He showed another book that Polite had mad documents showing the ins and outs of the workings of the bookstore and the business that the bookstore was going. He had proof in a book that he was dealing with all of that. So that's what people need to, you know, got to go in and fill in the
Yeah, we're not using one source. This is like a puzzle. You take a piece from one place and a piece from another place. What?
What happened?
We have a fraud department correspondent that says they are on the hunt for Amunet. Juliet Smalls, you are not getting out of this unscathed either. UG!
What?
UG! Y'all better call some family members and see if they can pick up the kids.
They probably already got them.
Okay, Real Truth says, was Dr. York's daughter, Uma, ever known for being an escort dominatrix? What? Where did that come from, Real Truth?
I got some pictures that I've seen, so I kind of understand where that question coming from, but I don't know if
that's why I asked it where it came from, and I didn't automatically just hey, look, when it comes to cults, I wouldn't be surprised if y'all came over here and said she was bathing in buttermilk under the full light of the full moon every day.
Hold on, let me ask. I'm gonna ask Chuck. Can I show that picture? Just give me a second. Give me one moment, because I don't want to do it.
Yourself on mute.
All right, give me a second. I'll mute myself.
Look, I'm talking to the chat right now. You gonna hear some stuff that don't make absolutely no daggone sense in the first place. And then you got people, so I know. Mute yourself. I'll do it. Or mute yourself, so I know it. Oh, Chuck back up here. He never left. Oh, George, your assignment for the night. If you don't choose to accept it, go tell you, G, we talking about it. The daughter may have argued that she should run the building, but that doesn't necessarily mean she was the one who took it to gun level, which is true. But then you have this lovely, hey, Bookie, are you still in the chat? If you are, drop that lovely court document again. I'm going to have to give it to you without context while Tar Noonan is getting permission from Chuck. Anybody that's been watching me for a while know I say I found a court case and I couldn't find it again. Well, one of our lovely fraud department supporters, shout out Venom, he sent me the link to it. It's a court case about a dude named O'Neal. Okay, cool. What the hell is O'Neal? I haven't finished over. You had to, Real, you want to jump up and say something real quick? Sometimes it's easier than typing. The O'Neal document, the Justia lawsuit.
Yeah, just 86 that right there. That's a no-go on that.
Okay, we understand. We understand. Y'all know I don't part no words. Y'all say we don't need to see that part, we can't show it to you. Hey, look, they pay former cult members to go on them documentaries. They come up here for free, out in the kindness of their hearts. And a little bit of, it wasn't him. Or he convinced them it wasn't him. I told you, I got to read over the document. I'm giving it to y'all before I finish reading it to y'all because I ain't read it since the first time I read it and I only skimmed it. So post it over here, love. Post it in the chat. So because everybody ain't a member of the Facebook group. If you have Facebook, and okay, I'll grab it out of there and put it up. And you would like to join the group, if someone would very kindly put the link to the private group in the chat. Boom. Teamwork makes the dream work. There we go. Yeah, but is she just modeling as a dominatrix or is she really a dominatrix? I don't know. And why are we going into that girl's intimacy? But what did you mean when you said you had to remove her from your Facebook? Were the pictures not family, like overly not family friendly? Read the document. Look, Polite don't tell the truth. He never does. Read that document. If you knew, Ezekiel was over here the other night, and he's the one that went and got the affidavits for the shooting at All Eyes on Egypt bookstore. Attractiveness is not a crime. Pretty clear. George, is that you, George? It is. Hey, everybody. George showed back up. Well, what do you expect from a cult member's daughter? She lost. She needs help to find her way. Hey, George. Did you tell Eugene? I was looking. We talking about him. Did you make sure he knew we was talking about him? And we all up. I ain't gonna say that because that's just who would want to be there? But folk telling your business left and right. You George. I'm gonna name him George, and I'm gonna hug him and love him and pet him and squeeze him.
Chuck said he muted. He can't talk. He said,
Oh, I'll unmute him. I thought he was gone, and I heard you. I told you to mute for the phone call.
Because I was using it.
Yeah, but Chuck wasn't muted, so we could halfway hear the muffled conversation. And when I figured that out, I muted Chuck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Where are we now?
Like, they was asking about the well, George has finally reappeared after a week of being hidden, but that's besides the point. They keep asking about polite in this shootout stuff. Hey, we still trying to figure all that out, Matrix. But
I don't even know anything
they
about
talking about one of the daughters, and they asking, Real Truth had asked, was York's daughter. Hold on, let me throw back. Was Uma ever known for being an escort dominatrix? He said he used to be on her Facebook page.
I don't know anything about that.
The affidavit for the shooting at the All Eyes on Egypt bookstore. Yes, Miss Embassy. One community, give a round of applause for George. He had the balls to come back. Uda, you letting me down?
who the hell is George?
That's what I said. Who the hell is George?
George come over here talking about that God is against Miami-Dade and Polite is gonna win and all this other kind of mess.
Oh, some weirdo. Okay.
Yeah, so since he just won't leave me alone.
Chuck, where's the picture of the white Nuwaupian that's by the movie?
Damn, I forgot.
I mean, your pictures in the Nuwaupianism group.
There go my boo Nandy. Like, share, and subscribe.
I can't remember. I just type in white wife.
Okay, in the group, hold on.
In the on the website, go to the search. Now, for the record, they had tried to say that she was Puerto Rican.
No, you know the white woman that was doing the Mughal.
Oh, you're talking about her.
Yeah,
I know you're talking about what's her name?
Need confirmation?
I don't remember exactly where. I can't even. There's so much stuff on that damn website. I don't remember. I'll send it to you.
Hey.
Yeah, I just wanted because somebody was asking.
You over here trying Matrix. Don't make me think you came with George, because you'll be on the list too. I don't care if I lose my voice for a week.
Hey, Natasha.
Yes.
Listen, maybe we can try to work something out as far as because right now this is a burning hot topic, and because I'm off tomorrow.
I'm off tomorrow. Marathon.
All right, cool.
Snacks on deck.
I want to really get these, because not just answering questions, because I try to. I don't want to just answer stuff. I want people to see documentation so that they can see it as it is, so it ain't me, because that was the whole purpose of the website. So maybe we can do something tomorrow, but I'm trying to work something out with some of their York's family members.
I'm out till Sunday.
We'll see. But I'm gonna text you and let you know what's going on with anything.
For sure.
And let me say this one more thing. Like I said, I don't even want to be talking about this stuff because I got a whole lot of other stuff that projects I'm working on and want to do in other areas. But now with all like that polite stuff and all this, I'm being pulled right back into this stuff. So I'm going with it. But goddamn.
Yeah, they done pull King Simon out the mothballs.
Oh yeah, they done pull. What the hell they pulled him? That old man.
Somebody done went and found King Simon. Now, Matrix, good and well, Polite was not on the research team for York's defense because
Hell
he never
no.
met Polite.
Hell
Unless you're new to the Polite situation.
no.
If you are, I will give you a pass. That's why I said you remind me of George. Not that you might be with George. Hey, just tell, hey, snacky snacks on deck. That's all I need. Snacky snacks on deck. DJ get his so that I don't have to stop and go cook because delivery don't deliver out here. Did Minister Inky say that? Why are you calling him? He done quit being a minister and he a doctor. He a naturopath. Now, I'm not going to call Inky a doctor. I'm going to call him a naturopath, so I'm going to make y'all go look it up. Does anybody have any more questions for Chuck? Because we know he got to go to work tonight. Come on.
But hold on. See, that's another thing. When I get to work, after about the first hour, I set my computer up and I'm on all night.
Where my no-dos at?
Yeah, I'm up. I got free time, y'all.
One more sleep. Chuck say he got time today. No, Chuck, when you talked to me earlier after you saw that interview, you was hopping mad. But
man, all right, I was mad.
Flanders when he get real mad.
I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm disappointed. Really,
yeah.
It's so much mad. I'm disappointed because, okay, so Shorty gets on there. And she's saying a lot of stuff, some verifiable, some not. But the undertone is that she's copping for an innocence. And the dude, Taharka, I mean, obviously he's clueless. He don't know what's going on. Where the hell is he getting his information from?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not trying to promote anything, but my whole thing is I'm thorough in this stuff. That's my thing, and I can't but none of them dudes, go head to head with me on this, So I just want to bring some context to the story, because it's more because some of the stuff she said, there's another side to it. There's documentation. That's when listen, at 17, when she said that he was never he didn't accompany any of those minors when they were transporting from upstate down to Georgia. That ain't true. It's right in the transcript. I put it up on the website. There was certain
tried to throw his own son under the bus.
Yeah, I'm right. Look, Jacob was the fall guy.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to understand that part of that family is dysfunctional, and you got these little internal wars going on with each other because everybody's not from the same mom.
Try to start a Muslim cult.
Who?
York's brother.
Which one? Oh, well, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't necessarily. I don't even know if it considered a cult. No, it was just. You talking about Oba? Mm-hmm. He had a Islamic mission. Similar to the Ansars in Brooklyn also.
Okay. And Joseph said, since y'all are up here, I'm going to let y'all take this one. How is it made clear that Polite never met York?
By his own words.
Yeah. Polite said out his own, well, Polite ain't the most.
And
plus, here's how we going to do this. Chuck, when did you leave Nuwaupian?
When did I leave it?
Yes, when did you completely cut ties?
When in 2011.
Okay, that's well after York went to jail.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear of the young phenom before York went to jail?
No.
Todd Noonan?
Yeah, me and Polite used to bang on each other on MySpace about 2000.
Not MySpace.
2006, 2007, when he was with that other guy, Water. They used to have a little website called Light and Water. We used to get into it on MySpace. That was
why we have these talks.
Yeah, that was back then, so he didn't pop up to like I said later on, like 2000.
No, you don't have it
like that.
You don't have anything listen, he wasn't even thought of when York was out. No. Ain't nothing on that. So he's a Johnny came late.
Mm-hmm.
Hella late.
Because when I first saw him, I thought he was related to Stephen Fetchit.
Yeah. We gotta make a cartoon of Tarnooted and Polite slap boxing on MySpace. To make it real, we gotta have the heart streaming down from the top to the bottom.
It was so long ago. So long ago.
It's just funny, it's 2021, and you talk about y'all was banging on each other on MySpace, and it's like, God damn, MySpace.
If Polite needs help behind the scenes, would Nuwaupians help him now? That depends. That depends because a lot of them feel that he betrayed them when he started getting really out there. Because their thing was, well, damn, if he would have helped them, since he had all his media power, if he would have brought more attention to their cause, maybe they could have got York sprung, which is stupid. And also, he could have, with the transcripts that they all talk about, he could have, if he's all these millions, he could have just spent the $15,000 and got the redacted transcripts, all of them, and they hadn't publicized. Yeah. They don't want them transcripts out because it don't look good for them.
Nope.
That shit that's in them is what incriminated. It's what the jury saw that put him under the jail.
Yep.
What is Inky over here doing? He got a plain black screen and it says the interview to Huckabee Fears, Pure Ether.
What was Michael Noax's name on MySpace? So any like questions about Polite, this is really foreign to me because
somebody named Shadow Kid is stalking Inky. It is on chat. Sad and a shame and a scandal. This is bringing out all. You know what? Shout out Shame TV Eastwatch, and let's get that bell one time for George. That didn't even last 2 minutes in the chat. George, what you came back for?
Yeah, true.
I thought you said God was with Polite. Apparently not. Shout out Shame TV Eastwatch. Oh Lord. You know what? The trolls are a laugh riot. The little cat, I ain't even gonna say the trolls, but the trolls is in a whole that is comic relief if we ever need it. When Sonetta Bumper pulls up on you. Fierce Deity. Does anybody know who that is?
Because I was watching TV and it said it was short, hairy.
Who are you? Hello? Fierce? Fierce? Are you just hello?
Because the girl is a girl who like.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so you don't want to be up here, correct?
Oh, hello. Sorry.
Oh, shit now. Thank you.
All right.
Bass player. Did I miss any? Shay, Fopi's in the house. Hassan did a video where he was surprised that after accusations, Polite still has the victim's mother's pictures and video clips in his social media. Yeah, he does, but she done closed her social media up tighter than a clam underwater. And don't use her name, please. I know everybody knows who she is, but we're gonna respect the victim by respecting her mother. Okay? What did Moose say? I didn't hear Polite until he was on Dr. Sebi video and Blog Talk radio show Polite was on. Do you need more confirmation, Joseph? and then you gonna come in and do exactly what I ask you not to do. So you get your body automatically get hidden. I just said we respect the victims over here, and since her mother protected her child, we respect her mother over here. Now, if you want to go play troll games in somebody else's chat that don't mind it. If you ain't Forrest Whitaker's crooked eye, you don't need to be over here. I'm for real. The troll came in my life one night.
You said Forrest.
That was the first benign troll's name I could think of. I can't with these people. Octavius, peace.
Damn.
Do I think why polite? No, you know what? YK is so much of a fanboy that he does not require payment. That's what I think. YK, hey YK, go tell Eugene we talking about his ass and his spiritual zaddy. How about that? Dino, peace and welcome. This is what you get when you come over here messing with the treehouse. Okay, we are now, because we did a poll and we've been on for 2.5 hours. Poll is ending soon. We have 76 votes, and it's 54% for Trip C's treehouse, and that's probably most of the people that's been stuttering over CCC since y'all found me. Yes. Shout y'all out anyway. I love all y'all. YK the fifth wife. Does anybody have any more questions for Chuck? I invited Ezekiel. I don't know if he's available right now. I only have his email. So yeah. Lord, we got the troll prince in Inky chat. Oh wait, I forgot I had a damn wrench. Body hidden. I done hid 3 bodies today. I'm supposed to be the content creator on this channel, not the mob. Come on, mods. As soon as we finish this stream,
when is your Tasha? When that interview coming up? You say you got.
That all depends on my secret angel. I can't predict these things. Hey, this has been divine intervention. Let the dominoes fall as they may. Y'all know as soon as I can tell y'all, I tell y'all. Y'all think I be holding stuff back. No, not until I only hold it until I get confirmation, and then it's off to the races. Ezekiel said on Sweet My Video, that video Sinetta had up at the top of his site with Sebi and Polite was edited. They had just met each other, but they made it seem like passing the torch. Of course, because Polite paid Sinetta. Of course. That's just more confirmation for what's going on. And here goes Ezekiel. I told y'all, divine intervention.
Okay, I found a picture too.
I thought you said God was on Polite's side, like Bay the Builder. You is totally wrong.
Peace.
Peace, Ezekiel, and thank you for coming. I was hoping you check your email frequently, my brother.
I was tuning into Hawker's interview or something with Simon, King Simon. Peace. Yeah. That's out here. Oh, give me a second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah. You broke up for a minute. Go back to where you was at. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. As always, when shit start getting good, just positive energy, family. Positive energy to the devices. Come on. Positive energy. We gotta have that. Positive energy beats hate any day. And there's people sitting up here watching, hating this shit that's going on right now. See, he done dropped off 3 times.
Who dropped off?
Ezekiel, his little meter ain't popped back up, so he's still in the good section. He got to find the right place. You know, he got to kick that leg up in the corner and get comfortable.
Yeah, true.
Hey, we got to do something to kill the time until stuff start working, right?
All right, so where we going now?
Okay, so Ezekiel's here, and I think he got something to say about that interview. But until the little internet trolls quit bothering his Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi! Kiosk cam. Leave him alone. He got connection to the Wi-Fi fairies. But yeah, does anybody have any questions while we wait for Ezekiel to find a good spot out in the corner with his big bubble coat on? Oh wait, they don't wear bubble coats over. Oh yeah. Never mind. Yeah, Crystal cliffhanger. I can't call you Crystal because I call you Cliff because my dog.
Yeah, Chuck still with us?
Yep.
Yeah, Chuck, right? I was asking him from before, right, Chuck?
Back, and he got full bars.
I've been there, right? Yo, come on. If he got the balls, let him get ahead because I want him to talk.
Yes. Go ahead, Ezekiel.
Go ahead, Ezekiel.
What's going on? My connection. I'm sorry about that.
It's all right, bro.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.
I saw a little bit. I saw your email, like real quick. Like, you got Chuck on the line?
Yeah, Chuck.
You got Chuck over there?
Yeah.
Chuck and Tarnoon in here.
Oh, dude.
Chuck Morgan?
Yep.
I gotta get close to the house. First and foremost, let me say
he finna make sure his Wi-Fi don't drop no more, y'all.
Nah, that shit up.
He said, I gotta get close to the house.
Yeah, I'm it's like this is funny because like I got my yard wraps around, so and then I'm a smoker. I don't smoke inside the house, and I try to make sure the kids aren't around or anything when I smoke. But it's late over here. Yeah. First and foremost, let me thank Chuck Morgan. Thank you for your work.
I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, I think I downed into one of your lives maybe a couple of years back. I was in California, and you had some of the other brothers on there, like Mike and some other cats, and I just want to chime in, and that was awesome, and I really like how you break a lot of the things down with the whole Nuwaupian and Dr. York thing, and just the whole thing, man. It's really
that.
good work, really good work. So I was just watching the interview with Tahakabe, and he had King Simon on there. I didn't finish it, and it's crazy. I went over to his channel, and I typed in the live chat, and I typed lies because he was talking about the interview he did the night before. And he kicked me right out. They kicked me right out the stream. They kicked me right out the chat. And I was like, wow, very interesting. Wow. For people, that are conscious and that say that they're not biased whenever they do these channels, or even when they're teaching, when you bring in other information, it surprised me how quick they shut off, and I don't know him personally, but this is something I've noticed all my life, like even when I was a young man and I used to be in the Pentecostal church, and they used to tell us to study, and I would ask my teachers questions, they would say things like, "Oh, it's in the scripture," or "Well, it says this, but it means that." And, you just gotta believe. That started me on my way to trying to find the answers for myself, and that's how I ended up getting into Nuwaupu.
Mm.
You know, so, and I went to many different schools. I even went to the Moorish temple that they had over there on Bainbridge in Brooklyn, and built with those brothers. But yeah, it's just funny. You kicked me right out, man. And it's like you claim, or sometimes want to say that you want to hear, other sides of the story, and that you're not biased against anyone. You give them a chance to speak. But then when individuals don't agree, or they catch feelings or something, or you rattle, it's funny. It's funny. So anyway, I found it even more humorous when Simon was explaining his side, and how the sister was not, being forthcoming with what she said. And I find it interesting, like seeing all this stuff afterwards. So after I had gotten off with you guys, like I gave my brain like a day or two, and I've been looking into some things. And you guys remember when I told you that there was another sister that came up from the South, and it was her and her boyfriend, and I couldn't was interviewing. I was wrong that we was interviewing. So that Uma sister is the same one, and she was the same one that I was disrespectful coming up. And I was building with somebody else about this today. And the thing is with me, I just want to say this, right? Like, you meet many people, and sometimes when you meet somebody, you know them a certain way, and then when you hear somebody else say something about them, they know them another way, right? So that's how it is with like Polite. I was with Polite when he was in his growing stages. He was already on his way, but he was dealing with a lot of drama, constantly. And in this particular situation, the way I saw it, it didn't seem to me as if he was in the wrong with everything that went down. But when he started getting more popular, it seems to me he had to kind of embellish the story to, I don't know, for whatever reasons, maybe to keep street credibility, or so that people would be more interested. But when I first heard his Vlad interview, I was like, whoa, like that's not exactly how things went down, but I'm seeing why the brother's doing it, like you can't speak on certain things. But I just wanted to say that, like, if you understand, like just because a person is well, let's say accused of doing something or allegedly doing something, people see that person. But if you know the person in another way, or you've been in other incidences with him, or seen things go down, or been there, whatever, like, just because a person is wrong in one thing doesn't mean they were wrong in another, if that makes sense, And for me, growing up, I personally know right is right and wrong is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Right is wrong. So just because the brother might be wrong to you, or he was wrong over here when he handled that. So I just wanted to say that because that's what I'm seeing is really going on here.
Yeah, building on that a little bit though, right? Because I got Chuck still here rocking with us, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So listen, right? So even like to come out though, to even speak, like even if some people agree with Sister Uma, or some people don't, right? When you come out and you speak about anything, it's always going to be that. It's always going to be some 50-50 of people that do or don't. So that goes to show if it's time for you to speak out about something, it's always time. And you can't just worry about naysayers and detractors, right? But, so for speaking out like this, you know what I mean? And, she's already, feeling like she's receiving backlash, maybe from Nuwaupian followers, maybe some more. Plus, we live in an age right now where everybody's just a follower of everything right now. You know what I mean? So she's probably being attacked on all ends. Then she went into saying so much so that even her mom has told her don't contact me no more based on her speaking out, right? But she still maintained her stance though that, you know what I mean, y'all should not be following these people, whatever the case may be. These people are still profiting off of children and all type of stuff coming under the cloak of the guise of doing these things. What do you feel about like those things? That's what like kind of the end. At the end of the interview, because if you said, Brother Ezekiel, if you didn't hear the end part, she started going at King Simon. She was like, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about certain things. He's like, well, you ignored it because I came to you. You was my spiritual uncle or something like that. And you saying like you didn't know nothing about nothing. But, I mean, even if you did know something about something, you still ignored it and did nothing. You know what I mean? So that was like how she kind of like ended her part before Tahaka like kind of stopped her to say that it's 12 o'clock and make it into another show tomorrow because he's just spinning people's life into a soap opera.
Yeah.
Somebody, okay. So somebody said, that the brother Uma was talking about refused to like testify. Oh man, and with the brother speaking, it was who asked me the question. Who's that? One Comet or something like that. One Community.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, I seen you on the other on your channel. I'm watching all this stuff, just tripping. You to answer your question, like should have naysayers and this, that, the other, but if you listen closely, I mean, it sounds to me more like so that she's still speaking about brothers in the Nuwaupian community, not so much people in the conscious community.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she's talking about she's never had business with pedophiles or molesters. She was around people. Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me still? I'm sorry, because I keep getting the signals here. So when she's speaking about that, like, it sounds to me like she's still speaking about the Nuwaupian community, not so much the conscious community.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if so, like, she would be around, or you would have seen her in more events. There would have been perhaps more skirmishes or more clashes or continuous rumors. And I haven't finished seeing the interview right with Simon, but shout out to King Simon because I know I had seen him promoting, and I've gone to some of the events when I was still in New York, and I mean, he's saying it himself, like he doesn't have, like, he's never actually spoken in full length with her about the situation or what had happened. And I think that honestly, she's trying to get more attention, this Uma sister, because she's gone on other people's channels and also continuously try to bring up her father, and has gotten shut down on other channels. And because it seems to me like she's drawing attention just to herself, but perhaps back to her father's case. I'm a person that has personally seen the traumas of this kind of stuff. Like I myself, like, have family members that have gone through traumas, not so much myself.
Yeah.
I'm saying I've seen firsthand, like, you know, the traumas that people can go through. And yeah,
I'm looking.
my phone is
Hey, look
acting
in the
up.
private chat.
I'm on full screen. Give me a second. Go.
No.
Heart goes out, brother.
Oh no, not you, Ezekiel.
Okay.
Nah, we hear you, brother.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay,
we hear
so
you.
all saying is, okay, all I'm saying is that, you know, I've had family members that have also been traumatized, and I've seen firsthand, you know, how it can affect a person's upbringing and their
Through life.
mentality
And through life, right? Maybe through older too.
just through life.
Yeah.
As I got older, and I began to see these behaviors and study and learn, I understood now why people react the way they do. I understand why, you know, a rape victim acts the way they do after the incident, or why a person or a child who was molested acts a certain way afterwards. Why they're so defensive. Why they are, you know, um, they're troubled in their relationships. You understand? So I am not trying to get on here to like bash the sister or say anything bad about her. What I'm saying is I after hearing that interview, I can understand where she's coming from. And the same thing like Simon was elaborating on, like, you know, we understand that you've been hurt. You may need further help. But you know that you're loved. And you know, unfortunately she's dealing with a lot, including her own traumas, and then, you know, her father being who he is, and a whole community. I mean, a big community that looks at you a certain way. So, I will say that was the sister that did come up from the South, and that is not how it exactly all went down. And um, I'm
Ezekiel.
I'm gonna try to clarify more, but you know, I'm being careful what I say because
Yeah.
it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with doctrine. It has nothing to do with teachings or anything like that. You know, and in this particular incident, you know, the brother that I've known as Brother Polite, the brother I knew as True Light, the brother I knew as Michael or Mickey, he's not wrong in this particular situation. I would ask I would ask the panel um if he were wrong, right, in this incident,
Yeah.
then why is he still walking around a particular incident?
Hmm. Dude, you know, this is a society that we live in. You know, we watch a lot of people that do a lot of heinous and sick things. So I don't think that's as much of a question, as much of an answer in the question itself. You know what I mean? So it's many multitudes of reasons. Some people are equating that to the law firm, different things like that, representations, notoriety, all kinds of things. You know what I mean? You can get free. You get different things. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But
Oh,
you know, but to one thing I would say, you know, let's say a sister like Uma is coming up, right? And let's say she's using, like you said, maybe like as a thought, maybe she'd be using her father's situation to gain light. In the same breath, I think that that same light, you know what I mean, also brings a shade to a person. And sometimes people in those kinds of situations tend to run from those situations and not really bring them back in their life really too much because they're really trying to hide from that, especially traumatic cases like this, the situation, the stance of what the case was all about. You know what I mean? These are things that you want to get away from and kind of live your own life, move away far from things. This is how you see things to be. You don't really tend to, people tend to if they can, but you don't really see people tend to bring those kind of things back and try to relive that. Because imagine all of the things that comes back with her bringing these kinds of things out. You see what I'm saying? But we do also know that, you know what I mean, she also said that she didn't believe that Tahaka would have posted the interview part at first. So she didn't know that at first. So that was also. So maybe if she knew that this would be an interview or something like that for him, it was basically a conversation that she was having with Taharka. So maybe if she knew that this would be live or this would be something else, maybe she would have tailored her words different. Maybe she would have spoke different, because I don't think that it was set up to be that actual interview that it was. And that's why we see today she was talking a little different, more aggressively, a little bit more going into what she had to really, really say this time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, but
talking about what he just did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I haven't seen it all, so I want to
Yeah.
thank you for saying that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've
Go ahead.
seen the interview, and what I want to say, I'm not an ex-Nuwaupian, but I've been in the conscious community since I'll say around 2008. You know,
So I want to thank you.
um, and one of the main things that I've seen
Octavius?
with a lot of people,
Who, the Octavius?
yeah,
Oh yeah, I heard your voice, brother. Yeah, I can't really see it. Yeah, I see it.
Hold on, Uda.
Been in the conscious community since.
somebody got a feedback I'm hearing.
So I want to thank and one of the main things that I've seen with a lot of people.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, Prime, you still got the YouTube video playing.
Somebody got a feedback.
That's on Prime. Cut your YouTube video.
Just mute Prime till he do it. Mute him till he do it.
That ain't Prime. I did it. That's me. I don't know how. Hold on. My bad, Prime. I thought it was you. It was me the whole damn time. Okay, keep going.
It's cool. I think a lot of, to be honest, man, I just want to tell the community, don't get played. You know what I'm saying? Just like there's male manipulators, there's female manipulators out there. You know what I'm saying? And when you've been in these communities and talked to certain people and been around certain people, there's a mentality that is a predatory mentality that plagues this community. And it doesn't matter if it's male or female. And what a lot of times what you'll see is people waiting for perfect times to come up, you know what I'm saying, and using these things as a way of actually getting their name out or being the next brother polite. It don't matter if it's male or female. And I know somebody mentioned her Facebook. I was on her Facebook also, and I've seen some of those images that they were talking about. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of I don't want people to get played, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people are not sympathetic figures, although yeah, they had traumas, but they know that you guys believe in all of that. You know what I'm saying? They don't look at these things from the point of view of normal people. You know, these are people who practice black magic, sorcery, and all that stuff, witchcraft. If that's what you practice, that's what you practice. But there's a mentality behind a person who has those kind of mindsets. You know what I'm saying? These are power-seeking people. You know what I'm saying? Narcissists in the highest degree. So don't get manipulated in your own emotions and you know, like some of you brothers I know, like y'all to defend females just because they females. And I've been out here, you know, going hard on this polite thing myself. So I got a long track record of being there for the victims, for somebody I know that's truly innocent. But you know, you got to understand timing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to see that there's some timing in this whole thing. And a lot of those women don't think like how you guys, like normal women that you meet in the streets, you know what I'm saying, think. They don't. That's why that's why it was so easy for all this molestation and all this weird stuff going on, this sexual deviant behavior that was going on with the men and the women. And if you notice that Nuwaupian sister was talking about the golden child, it was a sister, you know, talking about all this weird stuff.
You played, yeah.
Yeah. So trust me, these women in those communities, they are trained not to. They look at us as mummies. You know what I'm saying? One of the terms they call us in the world, mummies. We're dumb. We're the deaf, dumb, and blind, and we'll be to be used and manipulated. One of the main things they was taught in that community was predatory behavior, how to be a leader, how to sit in the highest seat. You know what I'm saying? and they go into different religions, whether it be voodoo, whether it be Hebrew Israelite, Islam, or whatever. And because they know other religions, they know about a lot of the books and stuff, and they've studied in the Nuwaupianism, they can manipulate the simple. So don't get twisted. I've heard the discussions about all they have these wars with the sisters and the brothers of Dr. York. I mean the daughters and sons of Dr. York. This is not new. You know what I'm saying? I used to listen to Don Nicoleone's show, a Nuwaupian radio show hostess, years ago, and they was conversating about all the drama going on between the siblings and stuff, and all of them jockeying for power. All of them want to be the new Dr. York. Trust and believe that. You know what I'm saying? So don't get played. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Brian.
Good point.
Chuck, you sound like you starting to sound like you eating corn nuts again.
Ooh.
Chuck, for the longest time, I thought he had fire-ass snacks, and the whole time it was something wrong with the connection.
Oh. I was on my phone, but I'm using my computer.
Okay. So you must have been doing something else. That's that pre-corn nut sound.
Okay, so where are we going now?
Yeah, but that's one of the terms they call normal people in society mummies. Yeah. So you gotta understand there's some predatory behavior. I know some of the ex and Nuwaupians can expound upon that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Ezekiel, we got two questions for you. They said, according to you, how did the shooting go down?
That is something that I will have to definitely elaborate on, because I'm gonna have to write this stuff down, just because how Chuck, not Chuck, excuse me, King Simon was saying, like you got to put things in the sequence of events, and I'm gonna have to go back over that interview, like in detail, because there's some things that she said, particularly
breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So when she said Polite was living there, he wasn't living there. Yeah, he hadn't been living there for a couple of years. He started teaching over there, and as I believe I understood it. They were asked to move in, and they were there for a while, and it is sort of like how she described. It was like people weren't paying the bills, and things weren't being taken care of, and it was hard. I'm sure for everyone living there. But when I met, like, he was not living there. She makes it sound like he was still living there, and like she was telling him on top of everyone else to go pay the bills, and that's not the case. He may have been cool with Sakina and everybody, but I don't know if Uma was anywhere around at that time, but they were told to leave, and I don't know if Amnet was with him or still living with her family or wherever she was living, but she says they would, and he continued to do teachings even in a local park, and some of the brothers that were supportive of him would meet at the park and they would just build, and that's when he decided to try to continue on, and he ended up opening his own bookstore. You see, so when I met him, it was, I want to keep saying around 2006, but I was back in New York in 2003, and I was working on my own thing. And I was always in the kind of like Bed-Stuy, Crown Heights area, off of Pitkin, and about a bookstore he opened in Utica. Now the thing is it was All Eyes on Egypt bookstore, and like I was telling you, he had his license and everything on the wall, everything official. It was a nice small store, and how is it that he's getting kicked out and on the streets, like she says, like if he has his own store? Not only did he start his own store, he was living in the store at first, built the store up, became successful at it, and then eventually ended up renting one of the apartments upstairs above the bookstore. And there was only like 2 apartments. It was a 2-floor building. The stores underneath and 2 apartments above. He had the other apartment. So her story is not correct, because he was already doing his own thing. And like I told you last time, like, I saw the letters you're, writing for him to take the store. So she didn't come up until after like the whole incident that I was describing to you the other night happened. So basically he was told to take the store. People in Bushwick didn't like that. We had that meeting that I told you about the other night.
Mhm.
You breaking up. Go back to where you was at.
Everyone came to the store.
Hey,
Newbie and a couple of
you
other.
broke up when
Yeah.
you started on the store.
On the store. So go back on the store.
So he had the store. He lived in the apartment above the store, and when he was told to take over Bushwick, the brother called a meeting at his store, and then a fight broke out because the brothers from Bushwick, like Newbie and some other cats, didn't want to hear the letters.
So
And it was crazy. I'm telling you. And like me and the other brothers stood in between it. It was fists being thrown, and like it got really heated. And
this is
when
Aminette and
the other brothers had left, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The other sisters were there as well, his other 2 wives at the time. Now, the peculiar thing to me, I would say, is that I knew word of him being supposedly like married to one of Dr. York's daughters, but I've never, I didn't see her around. She was like never around. The one Uma claims that he was married to her sister. I think Simon calls her a male, but she wasn't around ever. I mean, I didn't really know of this sister till I think we even went to Bushwick, and I don't even recall if I saw her.
Ezekiel, I have a question.
Me too. Okay.
Do you know if Polite being married to anyone, I mean legally in the courthouse, can show papers?
I do not know. I do know he's been with Aminette the longest, since they were kids. And all the stuff he says, according to the his lectures, and all the stuff he puts out there, if you really take all the things he says about himself personally and snip it together, you would probably understand the story much better. Because
pause for a second. Yeah. I got something to say, because I'm about tired of this. Shabo, you new here. Chuck Noonan been over here for a while. Sometimes they bring guests through. Now Ezekiel found the channel, and he was gracious enough to come up here and tell us his story. So save your condemnation for somewhere else but this chat. Because over here, we give the guests respect. You're going to respect them as long as they're up on this panel willing to tell their story. Now, I don't mind going back to 12 viewers. This is not about me being big. Hell, you think I want people doxing me and shit? So let the man tell his story in peace. If you got a real question, put it in the chat.
Facts.
All right. I mean, thank you for saying that. It and to piggyback on that, like, you know, when the brother was saying earlier about people, about his kids and shame and everything like that. I remember and I have the scroll in my library, Dr. York's famous saying, and one of Dr. York's sayings was, shame is the cause of all insanity, or the root of all insanity. And no one should feel ashamed of, you know, what they've been through, or who they were and who they
Yeah.
are becoming, you know. So that's why I don't want to like bash the sister or anything like that, because in retrospect, you know, after hearing her interview, I'm like, I understand she's been through some things, and you know, like,
It's a lot.
yeah, just shame, you know, is not a good thing.
It's a lot. But look, right? So you having a relationship, right? Like with Polite, right? So you know your view is going to be your view because you had a personal relationship. Unlike some people are just reporting on stuff. Some people are just talking and slandering and all type of stuff. You actually had a personal relationship, right? So so being that you had a personal relationship with him, right? Are there any? Do you feel, you know what I'm saying, just personally, not for you to bring nobody down, because you know what I mean, our conversations are not meant to bring people down. It's meant to shed light and bring awareness to things so people can be known when you're even being brought down. You see what I'm saying? So, but you know, just being around a person, especially from a younger age, at times, you know, you can sometimes see the development of things. Like I had a friend, like one of my childhood friends, right? And he was 12 years old. You know what I mean? But from 12 years old, he was always different. He was my best friend. You know what I mean? But his mind was different. You know what I mean? Like he used to do things to cats and stuff like that. Like all of the things that he used to do was things that when I read on things, is what serial killers would do. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I knew that he was different. You know what I mean? Which ultimately led to him getting a 10-year sentence, him coming home getting another 5-7 year sentence, and now right now he's facing a 10-year sentence now. But a lot of these things happened from childhood, and I understood things in his mind. You know, so was it things that you've seen? It ain't got to be drastic things sometimes. Maybe it could be certain narcissism. Maybe it's that when you was around him that he wanted the conversation to be about him. Maybe he wanted to direct more of where people wanted to go all the time. Nah, man, we going here all the time, and they want to dominate the conversations. Or maybe it's some weird things. I don't know if you would go that deep into a weird thing, but maybe some things that could highlight maybe some sort of a, I don't know if you would go into those things, not a deviance, but you know, anything that you think are like a yellow flag. Because sometimes we be looking for red flags. We need to start watching for yellow flags. Because by the time we get to the red, it's like we blind already. So we need to see that shit. It looks something yellow flag, and we need to call it yellow flags. So, is there anything that you